I did it. I sold my digital product shop, and looking back, there are some things that I would do differently. If you don't want to make the same mistakes I did, then make sure that you watch till the end, because I think it's going to surprise you what I would have decided to do differently and what I ended up doing in some of these circumstances. Hello, welcome back. I'm Christina Scalera, and I help you to make an income online as passively as possible, which means working when you want to, not because you have to. Back in around August or September of last year, 2022, I reached out to a brokerage that's pretty popular in the online space, and I just wanted to see what was available. I was thinking about selling my business, just kind of thought I'd test the waters, see what they would say, and immediately they were very helpful and gave me the opportunity to get a valuation, which I took advantage of, which was kind of like buying a house. They asked for a lot of financial records, a lot of P&Ls, a lot of tax returns and things like that to help put together a full picture of what this business was actually making and what I could expect to earn from selling it. Things accelerated and escalated pretty quickly from there, as I soon found myself listing it in the marketplace. Once again, I didn't really think this was gonna go anywhere. I don't know why I thought that. I just was like, we'll just see what happens. We'll see if anyone's interested. And immediately I had a rush of people that were very interested in buying this business. Not only that, but I was able to receive 3 very serious, very good offers in the span of less than 2 weeks. They had warned me from the beginning that, like, sometimes this takes a while. After 30 days, we'll just do this other thing to your business and it'll help it get more visibility and blah, blah, blah. I didn't need any of that because this business was a hot commodity for someone to purchase. And it's no surprise, due to a lot of the things that I teach here on this channel about how to make it passive. So this was a truly passive income asset that someone could take and improve and run from anywhere in the world. And that was appealing to a lot of potential buyers. I've done previous videos about what it took to get this business ready for sale. So if you want to see that, I'll link it below, or you can just check out the rest of the videos on my channel that you're already subscribed to, right? All right, regardless of how well subscribed you are or not, judging you, here's exactly what I would have done differently to sell my business if I was doing it all over again, because hindsight is 2020. One of the things I wish I had done differently is looked at lots of different brokerages and just spent the legwork getting different kind of valuations and offers from more people. So one of the things that happens when you sell a business is it's kind of like listing a house, right? Like, you don't list it with a bunch of different realtors. You have to pick one and go with them. And so just like that, when I sold my business, I had to pick one brokerage, one realtor that was gonna sell my business, and I had to stick with them for, I think the contract said 90 days. So I was gonna give them a 90-day opportunity to sell my business. I'm just gonna tell you this, and a lot of you are gonna judge me and whatever. So I only looked at one brokerage this time around because a year before I had looked at a different one. They treated me really poorly. I just didn't like the experience. So I was kind of afraid to go out there. And when this brokerage that I ended up selling my business through looked at my business, gave me a valuation that made me happy, it met all the numbers that I was looking for, I was like, I'll go with you. I'll list it for this. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but for 90 days, I can tough it out and see what happens. Not only were they able to get me a top offer that was the entire valuation of the business, they were able to do all the heavy lifting for me along the way to find that buyer pool and to have a nice set of people available that were really interested in my business right from the start. So one thing I wish I had done differently, even though I got everything that I wanted, was my only regret is that I wish I looked at other brokerages and just gotten different valuations from them to see what they would have valued my business at. Because while I was happy with the final totals and the number was wonderful, everything was great, I'm still kind of curious, what would it have been? What would other people have thought about my business? What would they have valued it at? What kind of buyers would they have put it in front of? Just a little bit of curiosity. And I'm not sure if that would have killed the cat or whatever, it doesn't matter now, but that's one thing that I would encourage you to do that I wish I had done. Like buying a house, you want to shop around for different interest rates. I also didn't do that. It's like a whole nother video though. So maybe I'm just really bad at doing this like shopping around thing. Once I find something and have a really good gut feeling about it, I just go with it and then I'm done. And that's exactly what I did here, but I kind of regret it. Another thing I regret is not talking to more people who have sold their business before. I really did try to find people like this. I tried to listen to all the podcasts and watch all the YouTube videos, but it's a very secretive industry, which is part of why I'm making these videos, because I looked for a video like this one. I couldn't find anything. So if I can help you, the least you can do is give me a little thumbs up. But seriously, I do wish that I had talked to more people that had sold their business at many different price points. And one thing that I learned along this process, this journey, is that you really don't need to have this like super fancy 7-figure, 8-figure, 10-figure business to sell. You can have like a $50,000 asset for sale. Like, that would make a pretty big difference in a lot of people's lives. If you're just maintaining a hobby blog because you feel like you have to, but you kind of want to give it up, you might make $50,000, $90,000, $200,000 just from that hobby blog. Don't think that just because, oh, I'm not making that much right now, or I could be making more, or I want to be making more, don't think that that disqualifies you from selling your business, because it totally doesn't. So while I regret not talking to more people, you now have me in your corner and you can talk to me in the comments below. Another regret I have is going outside of the brokerages and outside of all these people that have potentially sold their business to ask my friends and my peers who are knowledgeable about just business generally, even if they haven't sold their business yet, to ask them what they thought my business was worth. I really wish I had gotten a little bit more of a perspective on what they considered to be some of the assets and some of the amazing things that were available in the sale of my business, because as someone who's so close to those things, I don't think I did the best job presenting them to the brokerage that they can then present it to the potential buyer pool. So I do wish that I had had someone come in, like a third party or even like a best friend type perspective, to look at everything and say like, whoa, that's really cool. Or yeah, you should definitely highlight that as something that's part of this business for sale. There were a lot of things like that I realized after the fact, like after I had talked to a couple different potential buyers or brokerage agents or whatever, but like I already had the valuation in hand, they couldn't change it. So I kind of realized the value, the price that some of these things should have been included in the valuation, and they weren't, because I just didn't talk to people and realize the value of the assets that I took for granted that were part of the sale. And if you don't do a good job advocating about what it is that's actually an asset in your business to the brokerage that lists it, or to the buyer who's thinking about buying it, then they're not going to know. You're the one who knows those assets better than anyone else. And when I say assets, I mean things like your products, your SOPs, like your standard operating processes, your email list, your followers. These are all assets that are included in the sale of your business. And if you don't do a good job highlighting what a great benefit it is to have this particular asset, then the person who's buying it or the brokerage that's listing it, they might not understand how valuable that is. And so your business might get a little bit undervalued. Okay. One of the big ones that I really regret was not being emotionally ready to sell. I just remember driving and I had this song come on that was really, really popular like 7 years ago when I started my shop. And it was like a remix of it that came on, and I just started bawling because I was like, I just remember where I was when this song first came out and how popular it was. And like, here's this remix that is super rare. Like, I don't even know how this came on my Spotify playlist or whatever. And of all times in my life, it's showing up here. And I just wasn't totally emotionally prepared to sell my business, partially because I actually didn't think it was gonna sell. Like, I don't know why, I've never done this before. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just put it up. The brokerage kind of prepped me that it's gonna take a long time. Like, there's a lot of things, a lot of buyers that'll kind of kick the tires around. And I didn't have that experience at all. It sold like that. So I just wasn't emotionally prepared for this thing that I did, because I was like, let's just see what happens. Well, what happened was someone wanted to buy it. Actually, a lot of people wanted to buy it. So there I was, having to make this decision, looking at all the cash in the face and the future of this company in someone else's hands, and having to make this big, huge, life-altering decision to completely change career paths and give up what I had become known for in the creative entrepreneurial industry. Whew. It's a big decision. I would not recommend selling your business at a time when you're going through a major life upheaval. Like if you are in the process of a move, or if you are having your first kid, or if you're basically doing any of these other big life changes, I wouldn't recommend that you throw selling your business on top of all that. So make sure that you really know yourself, you really know what your goals are in life, and you understand how you're working to get there. And when or if that asset, your shop, becomes a little bit superfluous, like it's not really, it doesn't have to be there to help you accomplish those goals, or you just have different goals, or you're going in a different direction from your shop or the course that you want to sell, whatever the business asset is that you're putting up for sale. If your life is diverging and you guys are going in different directions, you guys, like my business is a person, but you know, if your business and you are going in different paths, that's okay. It's okay if you've ever outgrown it or you feel like you might outgrow it. All of these things are valid reasons to think about selling your business, and also things that you'll need to work through whether you're ready or not, because that day of closing is going to come when the buyer takes possession of the business and you are no longer on the accounts. So you better be ready for it. And it's an emotional day, so give that space to yourself. Make sure that you fully process what you're feeling, fully understand, and just, I think like psychologists call it closing the loop, like closing the psychological feedback loop. Just make sure you have that available and you're not like in the middle of a move and you can't like cry in your car like I did that day. That was really helpful. Okay, and then finally, one thing I do regret, and this kind of goes back to the first thing I said, was making sure that the valuation is as high as you can get it. So when I listed with this brokerage, it's a little bit weird because unlike buying a house, you can't just offer over a list. Like the highest you can possibly get as someone who's selling your business is at list price. They don't let people bid over list price. It's for a lot of different reasons that I'm not going to get into in this video, but basically that's what happened to me. And so I think I could have even gotten more for my business, but I could only go as high as the list price, which is what I got offered for it. And I was super happy with that. That was a life-changing amount of money. I'm not allowed to disclose exactly what it was, but you can figure it out based on the revenues that I've revealed in past videos here on this channel, and just knowing that I had about a 2 or 3x valuation on the company. It was a pretty substantial valuation, and I'm glad that I knew what like my number was going into it, but I still think it could have been even better in hindsight. Now that I've had the experience of selling this business, I would have advocated for a little bit more of a multiplier, maybe, you know, more like 3.25x or something like that, just to get the value up a little bit more. Because I didn't need to sell my business, it was really just kind of like, oh, this would be cool to do. I actually thought that I would put it up for sale and then do a bunch of YouTube videos about the process of selling my business. I didn't actually think that I'd get an offer that I couldn't refuse, and that's exactly what happened. So you still get the videos, but I also ended up selling the business. But because I didn't have to sell it, is what I was trying to say, I would have asked for an even higher valuation, and it would have taken longer to find the right buyer, but I would have gotten more money, and that would have helped me to fund some of these other goals that I have, other project ideas that I have, more real estate investing I want to do, things like that. So I would have asked for a little bit of a higher valuation in hindsight, just because I didn't need to sell it like that, and it did sell really, really quickly. All in all, selling your business is one of the hardest things that you'll ever do in your life, especially if it's like your first business, your first successful business like it was for me. I hope these tips are really helpful if you are considering selling your business, or maybe you're in the midst of it, or just kind of wondering what behind the scenes this whole process looked and felt like. And if you're actually wondering step by step what you should be doing to prepare your business for a sale, then that's the next video that's just popped up on your screen. So you'll want to watch that next. And if you're new to my channel and you want to know how to build a business that you can eventually sell, well, that's what all the other videos are here for. I will see you in one of those other videos. Take care, and I'll see you soon.